The United States will now be the world's crypto capital due to the creation of the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve and the new Digital Asset Stockpile. Now, today we're going to talk about what these things are, what the differences are, and how they affect you. Today we're going to be talking about the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, the U.S. Digital Asset Stockpile, and the overview of the United States digital asset strategy, and more importantly, how it will affect you. Just recently, on March 6th, President Trump established the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. The purpose of this is to securely hold Bitcoin assets forfeited to the U.S. government through criminal or civil proceedings. Okay. And also to recognize Bitcoin as a reserve asset of strategic national importance. So the importance of this is that the strategic reserve is like any other reserve, right? We've got a reserve of gold, we've got a reserve of corn, we've got a reserve of medical equipment, all that kind of stuff. We're now having a reserve of Bitcoin, and now we recognize Bitcoin as a reserve asset of strategic national importance. All right. The estimated holdings is approximately 200,000 Bitcoin, valued at around $16.5 billion. That's quite a bit of Bitcoin we got there. And it is overseen, the management is overseen by the Department of Treasury, with a dedicated office established for administration. Now, y'all don't have to take notes or anything. I'll leave a link to this presentation in the description below. I won't ask for email or anything. I'll just give it to you for free. So make sure you get it in the description below. So that's one thing, right? So that was the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. Now there's another thing that was just created. It's the U.S. Digital Asset Stockpile, right? This basically manages other cryptocurrencies seized by the government, excluding Bitcoin. Okay, so it provides a secure account for the orderly and strategic management of these digital assets. So whatever we have seized, not including Bitcoin, we're putting into this U.S. Digital Asset Stockpile. These assets include Ethereum, Ripple, Solana, Cardano, among the others. The objective is to support the value of these digital assets and position the U.S. as a leader in the global cryptocurrency landscape. So what President Trump has been saying this whole time is that America needs to be the head dog, the top dog in cryptocurrency among the world. So he has created the stockpile and the reserve so that the U.S. is positioned to be the leader of cryptocurrencies. Okay, so let's talk about the key differences here. The key differences is the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve is dedicated solely to Bitcoin, whereas the Digital Asset Stockpile encompasses all other digital assets. Okay, the management approach. The Bitcoin Reserve is designed for long-term holding of Bitcoin as a strategic asset, just like gold reserves like we talked about earlier. But in contrast, the Digital Asset Stockpile allows for more flexible management, including the possibility of liquidating as determined by the Treasury. Basically, the difference is, right, Bitcoin's not going to be sold but held as the reserve, but the other digital assets, they can be bought and sold, okay, as determined by the Treasury. So the acquisition of assets, both reserves are populated through assets forfeited in legal proceedings. However, the Digital Asset Stockpile explicitly prohibits the acquisition of additional assets beyond those obtained through forfeiture. So that means, that's very important, what that means is that they won't use our tax money to buy the digital assets, which is good. It's just through forfeit, whatever they seize and stuff like that. So our tax dollars don't go towards this, basically, is what we're talking about. These distinctions ensure that Bitcoin is maintained as a strategic reserve asset, while other assets are managed with flexibility to adapt to market conditions and policy considerations. What does this mean for you? What does this mean for you and me? Okay, so So how does this affect us? What does this mean for you and me? Okay, let's think about this, right? Market confidence and stability. Okay, whether you believe in Bitcoin or not, whether we think it's real or not, the government has just endorsed this, right? So the U.S. government, President Trump, he created these two, the reserve and the stockpile, to signal a formal recognition of digital assets, potentially boosting investor confidence and encouraging broader adoption. This is from CoinLedger, right? So whether we like it or not, the government says, hey, yes, this is a real thing. We're going to keep these. We're going to stockpile this. We're going to buy these. We're going to sell these other assets. So it's legitimized. So in a sense, the key thing here is that it is now legitimized by the U.S. government, right? Whereas before, right, it was not, right? The different regimes pointed these, looked at these assets completely different. So market volatility, while government involvement can stabilize markets, initial announcements may cause short-term volatility. Investors should be prepared for price fluctuations as the market adjusts to new policies. So still, it can go up, it can go down. You hear all this stuff on the news where people are like, oh, hey, Donald Trump just created this thing, so prices are going to the moon, right? One guy says 200,000, one guy says 1 million. Just remember, it still can be volatile just because the U.S. endorses this, right? Okay, so there again, we're talking about the potential price appreciation, right? Increased demand. Now that the U.S. has endorsed this, right, normal people, right, like me or you, would say, hey, look, now that the U.S. is confirming that this is a real thing, right, Bitcoin is real, we don't, the debate is over, so to speak, right? It's a solid thing now, even though I still don't know what it really is. I know what people say it is, store value, etc., but it's not a physical thing. So, my opinion inserted is I am still not sure how real this thing is. But the government says it's real, it's a real thing. So now that they're saying it, other people will say, oh, okay, it's legitimized, prices are going to go up, right, as people pile into this thing. So the government accumulation of Bitcoin and other digital assets could reduce available supply, potentially driving up prices. This scarcity effect may benefit existing holders through capital appreciation. May or may not, right? Okay, so like we touched on just now, it enhanced legitimacy and institutional adoption. Well, that's a big thing, right? So mainstream acceptance. Official reserves may encourage institutional investors to enter the market like they have been, right? The Michael Saylors of the world, Teslas, those kind of things, increasing liquidity and potentially leading to more robust price discovery mechanisms, right? Now we got ETFs. Now we have ETFs. We've got the if you haven't seen my video on the Microstrategy preferred stock, I'll leave a link up here and in the description below to take a look at that video as well. So they pay a dividend now. They're paying a dividend on a preferred stock, which is based on the price of Bitcoin. Crazy, I know. Regulatory clarity. So government participation could lead to clearer regulations, reducing uncertainty and making it easier for individuals to invest confidently, right? So now that we've been screaming for all these years about regulation, or some people are like, no, forget regulation, but now that we're going to get regulation, it might be more clear and more people will be able to understand the rules of investing. All right, so let's break this down. Final takeaways. First, let me say that just because, let's read this caution first. I should have put it at the top, but it's right here. Just because the U.S. is endorsing Bitcoin and crypto, it is still a risky asset. Okay, don't believe the government, don't believe me, don't believe whatever until you do your own due diligence and understand the risks involved. You could still lose money. Okay. Now, having said that, if you believe that crypto now is legitimized and will be going through regular and will be bought and sold more and will be a regular security, then you might want to think about starting a crypto strategy, whether it's dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. And please use my affiliate link to get crypto from the brokerage that I use called Gemini. Just click this link right here. It'll take you right to it if that's something you consider. If not, don't. Consider other digital assets such as Ethereum, Solana, all those other ones. And same thing, use the link to get free crypto from Gemini. So full disclosure, I do make some money off those links. So go ahead and use those links and it will be a great way to support the channel. So if you're thinking about starting up a Bitcoin holding, a Bitcoin portfolio, take a look at those links. So tell me what you guys think. You think that now that the government has endorsed and promoted these two things, the Bitcoin Reserve and the strategic digital assets, you think that Bitcoin's going to go up to the moon like a lot of people saying? You think it's going to just hang out the same? Do you think that it's still real? Do you believe that it's a real thing now, or do you believe it's still hocus pocus? I still am on the fence on it, but I am dollar cost averaging. I am buying a little bit here and there. But there's still big dogs out there, Warren Buffett's of the world, Peter Schiff's, that are saying that it's going to nothing. It's just vaporware. It's nothing. But of course, you got your Michael Saylors, you got your other guys out there saying, yeah, this is the next big thing. So leave me a comment. Is it the next big thing, or is it the next big dud? Like this video if you like this kind of stuff. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification. Share this with a Bitcoin lover or hater. And as always, I wish you much success in your finances and in life. Peace out.